Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening, Miss Justice. Number one. Much love, PG. Glad you're here. Hey, girl. Good to see everybody in here. Anna, you number two, girl. Okay, I'm eighth. Hey, PG. Hey, hey, hey to you, girl. God bless. Number two. And Carla, number three. All PGOA. Amen. And D is number four. All right. Hey, PG in chat. Purple hearts for summer. God bless. Good to see everybody in here tonight. Really good to see y'all. Let me see. Oh, that is beautiful, Dawn. Good evening, everyone. Much love. Hey, much love to all of you out here. Let me keep going down through here. Anna, good to see you. I can't imagine. And don't Candace owning a Canon camera. Surprised it wasn't sold. Yeah, right. I heard that, girl. I heard that. Hey, Lisa, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Good to see you. Exactly. That's more like don't. Amen. Um, there's Tinky Tank. It says I'm so excited. I'm actually awake and can catch PG live and not a replay. You all right, girl? Exactly right. Um, hey, Mama 24, how you doing? Peanut Shell, Suzanne, Sugar Boom Boom, how you doing, sweetie? Hey, PG, long time no see. Much love, friend. Much love, much love. Good to see you in here. Only eyes for you. How you doing tonight? Janet, good to see you. Patch work pudding. How you doing, sweetie? It's good to see everybody coming in here tonight. It really is. The other Sharon, how you doing, sweetie? And let me see. I believe I got everybody. Oh, Bonnie. Bonnie, how you doing tonight, sweetie? APG, I was wondering where you were. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. Um, PG had to take some time off. Um, I had to take a couple of days off there, and I take the Sabbath off every week. I take Friday to Saturday evening off, but I had to take Thursday off this week as well. Lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. Um, Man, I don't know where that cough came from, but it came from out of nowhere. Got me damn eyes tearing up too. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? Where'd that cough come from? Is that me? Yeah, that's you. Anyway, somebody asked the other night. They was like, PG, what got broke? What got broke? The big boom, 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 right? Uh, and it wasn't even the 4th of July yet. So anyway, I had to leave a minute to go check, right? Well, I finally figured out exactly what happened. Um, me daughter, right? Me daughter, um, being a sweet child she is, you know. All right. She decided she wanted one of my, I didn't even miss it either, but she decided she wanted one of my portraits that, one of my, well, actually it's a painting, but one of them that I had, you know, in my, in my house. And it's pretty big. It's pretty good size. Pretty good size, you know, painting. It's really nice. And long story short, She decided, she'd like to have that hanging in her room. Yeah, little do I know, I didn't even miss it. But point being is, I guess she took it, she took it like a while ago. As I said, I stay busy. I don't notice things. Um, you know, I stay very busy. I must stay damn busy because I didn't notice this thing's gone, and I promise you, it's like freaking big. It's huge. Um. Anyway, yeah, she decides to hang it in her room, and to be honest with you, I go in her room all the time. Right? I go into her room all the time. I didn't even notice. I didn't even take note that this particular portrait's in there, this painting. But listen to what she did. She hung this heavy, great big painting on some thumbtacks, I guess. And that's what we heard. It come off the wall. I guess it, smacked her TV stand. And then it went from smacking the TV stand down to smacking the floor. And hit the floor, bounced around, and oh my freaking goodness. Anyway, that's what we were hearing, bouncing all over hell and back. And I said, well, did it break? Because, it's got a big frame on it and glass. And I said, did it break? She's like, I don't think so. I'm like, where is it? Behind my TV stand. Okay. You didn't even bother to check it. You didn't bother to look. You didn't. No. I thought you were going to handle it because you were up running around looking for what the noise was. So I just left it there. Yeah. Well, I had to check it. And I'm going to be honest with you. She should have got her phone took for real. She should have got like some time out, right? Somewhere where they ain't a TV set, a game machines, and a ton of things for her to do. But to be honest with you, I was just really glad, I was just really glad that the glass wasn't broke. In the painting, I was glad the glass did not break. And I just bought another painting, in a really nice frame. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous picture. It's really beautiful. And I just bought it. Like, maybe a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure, within the last few weeks. And I brought it home. I told my daughter, I said, I got to wipe the frame down because I'm a germophobic. I got to wipe everything down, before I hang it. And guess who got to wiping it down and cleaning it up real quick? Oh yeah, my daughter. She went right to town on it. And I thought, oh, how sweet of you. That is so nice of you. I was told her, I said, wow, you must be really feeling good today. Clean that all up for me and everything. I really appreciate that, sweetie. And she's like, oh, no problem, Mom. And like 20 minutes later, she comes and says, can I hang that portrait that painting in my room. Now I know why she went to town, right? I know why she went to town. And I told her, sure, if you want it, she said it matches my bedroom suit and everything. I was like, yeah, no problem. So I even go to her room. I go to her room and I help her hang it. I help her hang this portrait in her room. For real. I still didn't notice my other picture missing. I didn't notice it, her having it in her room on a different wall. I had no freaking clue that this picture that hit the floor was even in there. I'm going to tell you, it's like usually I try to practice mindfulness, right? I try to practice mindfulness, but I don't know where the fuck my mind's been lately, right? I don't know where my mind's been because I'm going to tell you, I'm just wondering what else I got missing, right? I don't even know. I got to take inventory. I got to take inventory tomorrow. It's hard telling. I promise you. My kids don't need me to take them shopping. They just go around the house and shop for themselves. But anyway, that's what bounced all over Helen back and hit the floor. And thank God it didn't break. I'm sure I haven't really overly, looked at the frame. I don't know if it's, messed up or ain't messed up. I was really tired after, having to move the TV stand and all the stuff, because you got to clean it off. Then you have to move it. Then you got to, get the picture out from behind there. Then you have to and while you're behind there, you might as well clean, right? And sweep and mop and do whatever. And then you have to put everything back. And by that time, I was just too damn tired. I set it aside and was just thankful the glass wasn't broke. So, and my daughter is a mess. That's the most as I can say. If it was a snake, it bit me, right? My daughter I'm telling you, she can be, I cannot turn my back on her for 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. Every time I go somewhere, I'm like, let's go, and she's like, can I stay here with Uncle? Can I stay here, with Auntie? And I'm like, no, go get in the car. And she's like, why can't I stay here? You let brother stay here. And I'm like, yeah, and brother ain't gonna, twist my house completely around before I get back. I know her because anytime I'm leaving to go anywhere, she wants to go unless she's got a plot and a plan. And her plot and her plan is to turn one of my rooms completely around, like move everything. So I'm like, no, you got to come with me. I don't know what room you've been eyeballing or what you think would look good in it, but you got to come with me. Yeah, my daughter's a trip. But anyway, that isn't half as funny as I took the kids today. I took them shopping for groceries, not for anything, clothes or nothing like that. I took them shopping for some groceries. And while we were there, one of my sons, he got him some of those Lunchable things because he likes those. I got one son that likes those Lunchable things. So he picks up some. So we get home and I'm putting all the groceries away, right? My daughter, she's helping me and we're putting all the groceries away. And she had gotten some Lunchables too. She had gotten her a few. I don't know where she took hers. I don't know if she put them in the refrigerator in the kitchen, or she took hers off to put them in the other refrigerator. I don't know where she took hers. I just know that one of my other sons came through, and he says, "Whose Lunchables are these? Are they like for somebody, or are they anybody's?" And I wasn't thinking. I was not thinking, and I just was like, I guess anybody. And so he grabbed it and he goes. So my other son comes behind me and he says, "Where's my Lunchables? I thought I had 3 of them, and there's only 2." Well, I got one son run off eating this Lunchable. I got the other one looking for it, and I've got a third one that comes along and says, I got the other one that comes along and says that something to the tune of, "Your brother done went to town eating your Lunchable." I started laughing. I started laughing so much I couldn't stop laughing, man. I was almost going to have to sit down. You know, the Yankee Doodle went to town, and he was kind of singing it only with his brother's Lunchable. It was funny as hell. I'm going to tell you, my kids are a trip. But I wasn't thinking. So I guess I got to go back to the store tomorrow and and get some more Lunchables, right? I'm going to have to replace those because my one son didn't take it so well when everybody started laughing. You think the little guy was a little bit upset. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to tell you exactly. My daughter in the future, she needs to well, I don't know. You should see the room after she gets done with it. You know, I mean, I would say that she should get into to design, but I don't know. Um, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. Put it this way, if I hired my daughter as an interior decorator, I would fire her. That's just the truth. I would, if I came in and seen what she did, she'd be fired. She's a freaking mess. I promise you, she's a mess. This is a kid that this is a kid that would put one chair on top of the other and think it looks good, right? Yeah, I'm not going to brag her up. I'm not going to brag her up on interior design because I'm going to tell you no, I got to tell the truth. She sucks, right? Totally sucks, you guys. I would not hire her for that. Absolutely not. And this other child I got, Mr. Fix It. Yeah. I wouldn't hire. He would be fired too. Knocked 2 holes in my wall, right? Went out to my freaking vehicle and I mean, this is removes your windshield wipers before the other ones come. You're going down the street and you ain't got no wiper blades, you can't effing see. It's like, it's crazy. Put it this way, my kids are not the sharpest tools, right? They're not the sharpest tools in the shed. That's for damn sure. But I'm glad they ain't. I'm glad they ain't because if they were, I would probably have nothing to laugh about, right? And personally, just to be able to laugh, just to be able to laugh. My kids say the damnedest things. I don't know where they where they get it or where it comes from, but they do. I didn't, Mama 24. I had no idea that child. It was a big freaking painting too. It was a great big painting. I had no freaking clue that that sucker was gone. He didn't. It's horrible. That's horrible. Right? And she did a good job. You didn't even know. She took the picture. I didn't. That's the truth. Spicy says, Dawn says you're Kathy Morrison. Yeah, well, I don't know what Dawn says, but that's not true. That's not true. You know, I'm not going to say I'm someone I'm not, because a lot of innocent people out here are getting accused of being PG, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. I don't know no Kathy Morrison. I don't know no freaking, Margarets. I don't know no Marthas. I don't know any of these people that, they're all going around saying I am. So, you know, that's not true. Not true. I personally think that Don Wells he must have come up with the Morrison because of Morrison Cemetery right there across the road. Maybe Kathy. I was wondering, what is Kathy the friend's last name? Is her name Morrison? Is that where they came up with it from? Is Kathy the friend? Does anybody know her last name? I was wondering about that. Just a few days ago, I was talking with someone, and they asked me, did I know her last name? Could that be her? I was like, no, I don't know her last name. Yeah, I don't know her last name. Did anyone ever get her last name? Because I didn't. So I have no clue. I have no clue. That could be where they're getting it. I think they knew her. I think they knew her before Summer went missing, because that photograph where the ladies outside on that land where that weird stuff was going on looked like somebody's holding Summer up in the air. A bunch of men in gowns was holding Summer up. That actually, and then it had the picture of two women standing out there by the porch by the light. That actually looked like Kathy the friend to me. I mean, I'd almost bet 10-1 that it was Kathy the friend. She had the mask on. She wears the mask all the time, because even when other people don't, she's wearing one. Because of something, I don't know why she does, but she does. And that person had a mask on. So I'm thinking that could be her. I don't know. Hey, justice for you. Good to see you, hon. Just hot here watching my grandson. But I've been asking about the camera since the beginning. Don said, I bought Candace a fancy camera because she loves taking pics. Yeah, he did say that they had a camera, and he said it was. Now, I'm going to tell you, anytime law enforcement comes in and they take stuff, they make sure to leave a receipt. They always write down everything. It gets wrote down as they take it, and then it gets checked and then double checked before they leave. So that checklist, what I'm saying is it's gone over 3 times before law enforcement, loads it up and takes it away. That checklist, like I said, it gets wrote down right when they pick it up. It's wrote down what they got, right? And everything is accounted for that goes in the bag or the box, whatever they're using to hold the stuff. um is wrote down, and then they take it, and then just to make sure that nothing got took back out or left behind or anything like that, they go over the checklist again. um and then there's a final go over the checklist before it goes in to the vehicle. Then when they get it to where they're taking it, you know to check it in, they go over it again, each item to be accounted for when it gets to where it's going, so nothing came up left in the vehicle or came up missing or fell out. So there is no way, there is absolutely no way they took that camera. I don't believe that. But let's listen to what Don says.
As TBI flushed through the information they've given them?
They say they are, but see, TBI took a lot of stuff out of our house. They turned our house upside down 6, 7 times, over and over and over. Emptied my trucks out, threw everything on the ground, and left this. I've been picking up this, but they took a bunch of stuff out of our house, and they left a list of the things they took. But the things they didn't list was our TV and her Canon camera that I bought.
Don Wells, why do you lie? Why do you lie? Why do you lie so much? That camera was not there, and neither was the TV. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Hunter saying when they took the boxes, when they was at the hospital, when they got to, when him, Summer, and Candace got to the hospital to pick up Grandis. Remember, Hunter said when we got to the hospital to pick up Grandis, we put the boxes that was in the back seat in the trunk. And Chris M says, "Oh, you put it in the trunk. What was in there?" And he said there was TV sets in there. Remember that? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember him saying TV sets were in the back trunk. He said he don't know why Grandis had television set in the trunk, but she did. Remember that? Absolutely. And they did not take the TV set. The TV set was in Grandis's trunk. I bet the camera was in Grandis's trunk too. And the clothes, I bet you 10 to 1, the bag and suit and the stuff that Summer was wearing sitting on that pillow, I bet you 10 to 1 that stayed at Allison's house. I bet you 10 to 1 that Candace left that TV set there because they opened the trunk up, remember? They opened the trunk and put the boxes back in the back seat because we saw Summer on them. We saw Summer propped up against them. Hunter said they took those boxes out, put them in the back trunk so he could sit down. And then, so when they got to Hunter's house, they, I believe they took Summer inside of Allison's house and redressed her, cleaned her up, redressed her. And then they got the boxes out of the trunk, put them back in that back seat with the milk to prop her up on. And then I believe that they probably took that TV set, probably the camera too, and the clothes that she had, the bag and suit and stuff she was wearing. And I bet Allison washed that bag and suit, washed that stuff up, and she was holding on to the other stuff, so it wouldn't be taken from Candace's house. Bet you 10 to 1, that stuff was left at Allison's.
It has all kinds of pictures of Summer on there, all our kids.
All kinds of pictures of Summer on there. All kinds of pictures of Summer on there.
It's gone. You know?
It's gone. I bet it is, Don Wells. I bet it is gone. I bet you guys destroyed it. I bet you destroyed it. That's what, you know, that's what you more than likely did is destroyed it because you didn't want no one getting a hold of that.
They didn't list that on the things that they took. And they're the only ones been in our house.
No, Don Wells, they are not the only ones that's been in your house. You and Candace and Grandis has been in your house too. Don't act like they're the only ones. That's why I say it's very important to treat a child's case, to treat a missing child's case as a crime scene from the very second law enforcement gets there. Everyone needs to leave out of the place and needs to be roped off, and until the child's found, nobody or nothing can be touched. No one or nothing can be touched until the child is located. And if the child isn't located, then that particular property becomes a crime scene right then and there until the investigation is over, right? Until they fully investigate and get all the evidence and everything they need off the property. It should be law. It should be mandatory that every missing child's case be treated like a crime scene until the child is located.
Do you know where the swimsuit is now? Is it still at home? You guys have it at home?
I have no idea, and I wouldn't doubt it if TBI has it because they come in and the forensics, they took a lot of clothes. They took all kinds of stuff out.
Lying again, Don Wells. Lying again. Why are you lying in your missing daughter's case? If you were innocent, if you and Candace and Grandis were innocent, you would have no reason to be lying. No reason whatsoever to be lying. Just, that's the truth. That's the truth. If you're innocent and you've done nothing, you have no reason to be lying. But you are. You and Candace and Grandis, you just been lying and lying and lying. And I don't understand why. Well, I do now. Right there, Don Wells. Right there. Your old lady's got the swimsuit, Donald. Right there it is. And Candace's hand. See Candace's nose, her eyeballs? See her holding it up? Right there. Same exact swimsuit, Don Wells. Same exact swimsuit right there that your daughter's wearing. So why do you lie? Why are you trying to act like TBI has all of these things? The TV, we know for a fact, was in Grandis's back trunk of her car, right? It was in the cab, back in the cab of the car. So, why are you lying? Hunter said the damn TV was in there. That's how we know. We know it was in there because he saw it. He told Chris it was there. Even he couldn't figure out what this TV's doing in there, right? So the TV was in the back of Grandis's vehicle. The swimsuit, that swimsuit, Don Wells, right there in your old lady's box, along with the jacket, along with the sundress, along with everything else the Summer was wearing that day. And it was hiding in the back of this vehicle right here, because that's where Kathy, the friend, said she got it from. She got it out of this vehicle that Candace had took to Kathy, the friend's house and parked it, right? There's a whole lot of things stored at Kathy, the friend's house. Why? Because you didn't want law enforcement coming in like they did and ransacking the place again and finding some incriminating evidence against you. So all of this stuff was hiding at Kathy, the friend's house. And you guys lied. You lied. You said that Summer went missing in this outfit, in this jacket, in the little shirt that's in here. The little bitty shirt she's supposed to have on under the jacket is in there. The jacket's in there. Everything is in this box. The sundress, the bathing suit that she was wearing, right? The swimsuit is all in there. So what is the lying about? Why does he keep lying? I don't know. Kathy the friend is a liar. And I think Kathy the friend knew Candace and Dom Wells before Summer ever went missing. I think, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. That she did know them prior, because in that picture, it sure looks like Kathy the friend outside. That's exactly who it looks like. It doesn't look like Candace at all. It looks like Kathy the friend. And, and some weird stuff was going on upon this weird property, right? Some weird things were going on. They were holding some type of real, some real satanic rituals or something up there on that property with, with children and so forth, it looked like. So, just saying, that's what it looked like to me. Well, he claims that, he had tools in it, but, I don't think so. I don't think so, because all of Domwell's tools are in his white truck. All of his tools are in his white truck. The ones that he uses, because he had to take all the tools out of his, white truck to put them in, Candace's vehicle. And then he transferred them back into his truck. So I do know there's supposed to have been a few fishing poles back there as well. But as far as Don's tools, I don't think so. I think Candace removed a lot of important things. She removed a lot of important stuff, like this box right here holding everything that Summer was wearing that day, right? Everything that Summer is wearing that day, except the pants, except the grayish looking leggings that she was, Summer had been wearing. It's the only thing that seemed to be missing was those gray leggings. And I think that's because they couldn't be saved, if you ask me. I don't think they could be saved. That's my opinion. I don't think they could be saved. What I'm saying is, I think I think that, I think that after a person is on live for a while, for a little while, the smell ain't so good, right? The smell is not so good. And I think that the leggings, the leggings she was wearing probably, was really, really bad. In my opinion. That's my opinion, just saying. I don't know, you guys. but she also sold this particular vehicle to Kathy, the friend, also. Don and Candace actually sold this particular vehicle to Kathy, the friend. You know, I think this is where a lot of things were being hid, and, you know, they wanted to get rid of it. If there's any evidence in it, it's all gone now. It's all gone now. But this is the you know, the begging suit. Here's the jacket little Summer was wearing, you know. Candace was holding it up. I mean, she's holding it up, letting everybody take a look. You know, I got Summer's clothes from that day. And, you know, she didn't give none of these items to law enforcement in order to, you know, let the search dogs look for Summer. And she, you know, they wanted to mess up the search dogs. That's why they didn't put their dogs away. And then Jody Sue comes off the hill with another big old dog down on the road to mess everything up as well. They were fighting to mess things up. Jody Sue was fighting to mess things up just as much as Candace was, and Don Wells. So glad to be here tonight. I was hoping you'd be on. Hey, girl, I appreciate it. I appreciate the support for Summer's channel. God bless. Oh, Sullivan. God bless, hun. But yeah, you know, PG, I've seen someone post it in one of the groups with Don and Candace and another guy that was at the fair, and that's Frank Light. That's Frank Light in back of them. Someone has brought that picture forth recently. I can't remember who, but they said that, PG said that that's Frank Light at the fair behind the wells. Absolutely, it is Frank Light. I think I know what Frank Light looks like, right? So, yes, that's Frank Light in the background of that picture. Don, Candace, Jody Sue, and they all know it. They all know Frank Light when they see him too, right? Don, Jody Sue. I know you guys hide in the bushes, especially you, Candace. You're always hiding in the bushes. That was Frank Light. That wasn't Joseph Wells. Joseph Wells is a real weirdo, though. He's a real weirdo. I think he knew the Wells before Summer went missing, too, to be honest with you. And he acted like, he had every right knowing what happened to this child, which leads me to believe that he might have been a customer of Ben Hill Road, if you ask me. Because he was fully invested, which is, like an abnormal investment. And Don and Candace were running from him. They were running from him like they knew him. He showed up at Summer's birthday party. Don Wells stayed on the parking lot, wouldn't even go in. Candace went in, but she ran off immediately, knowing he was going to be up there, and she wanted no communication between her and him, and fear someone might catch on to the fact they do know one another, right? Have met prior to that particular night. So she ran off as well. Her and Don took off and, left everyone else to put up with this man at this particular, get together. And, that's what I got out of it. That's, just saying what I got out of it. That is definitely Frank Light. Yes. Just saying. Now let's listen to what Jody Sue has to say.
And last my hurricanes were indeed erased, and we did report that to law enforcement, and we reported why. And no, they were not erased or messed with by JD. It was by the next.
You know what? You are right. You are so right. In my opinion, Kathy ruined any hopes of finding any evidence in that box. She lied so much, saying she was going to give it to Allie. Yes, she did. She lied. She lied her ass off and tried to take a bunch of people, to the cleaners, right? Using her daughter and everything else, And she said they did take it. She told all the people that she took it and turned it over. Her husband took it and turned it over to law enforcement, and they didn't turn a damn thing over. They didn't turn nothing over. I mean, biggest liar that ever lived on the face of the earth, right? But I think that woman was, there was some kind of unnatural thing going on between her and Candace, if you ask me. I mean, something very fucking unnatural was going on there. She's as low as the well. Yeah, in my book as well, girl. Absolutely. In my book as well. She, yes. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that it was unnatural the way this Kathy, the friend, hers and Candace's relationship. It was just fucking something really unnatural about it. It's more like lover than friends, right? More like lovers than friends, if you ask me. That, just fucking nasty.
To
Just
law
nasty.
enforcement, and we reported why. And no, they were not erased or messed with by JD. It was by the next hill.
Do you hear? Her cameras wasn't erased by JD. They were erased by the people on the next hill. She's accusing Don Wells. Jody Sue is saying that Don Wells erased her cameras, right? Erased her cameras. Just saying. Yeah.
No, they were not erased or messed with by JD. It was by the next hill. And for a reason that I now suspect was more nefarious than I thought then. Yeah, so.
There you go. There you go. She says more furious than she originally thought. I don't know. I think Jody Sue knew, all the nefarious things that were happening up there on 110. I mean, how, Jody Sue? It was your old man, you said, not me. No, I didn't say this, Jody Sue. You did. You the one that said your old man was the one over there selling stuff to the kids and selling stuff to Candace to sedate the little girls, and not just Summer, but other little girls to be touched. That was your words, not PG's. So, why would Don Wells want to erase your cameras when you knew all about it? I think you'd want to erase your own cameras so your old man ain't seen over there handing Candace shit that can sedate little girls up to be touched, right? I think you would be erasing your own shit. And that's what I think happened if you had any. If you had any cameras, I think you erased them yourself to save yourself, right? And your old man. Well, he ain't your old man anymore. He's actually married to somebody else. And that's how we got this information, because you became a scorned human when you spent 30 years You wasted 30 years of your fucking life. Had two kids by this guy. And he didn't think enough of it to put a ring on it, right? He didn't ever think enough of it to put a ring on it. But he met something else and did. And that really pissed you off, right? Like, you were a fucking has-been to him. I mean, he traded you in for a younger model, right? And he treated that younger model with more respect than he ever did you, because he put a ring on it. He didn't put shit on you. So you were pretty pissed. So you decided to tell some truth on him. You decided to tell some truth on him. And when you told that truth, it allows us to know who would erase the cameras. And it ain't Don Wells. It would be yourself. It would be yourself. And you lied about a scream. You made up a scream. A fake ass scream that Candace thought she could tell you to move it to another time. I mean, if you really heard that scream, Candace couldn't have been telling you to move it from 443, 447 to 5 something in order to accommodate more of the time when Summer came up missing. You had it an hour off. And Don and Candace brought that to your attention. Now, if they bring it to your attention that you had to scream an hour off, then you were fucking lying about the scream, Jody Sue. You were lying. It's something you all made up together. And it sounds like Don and Andy was talking about, Starlink and GPSs, because both of them were driving vehicles during those 2 days. Them 2 days, Andy was driving your vehicle. That gave him extra security, and Donald was driving Candace's vehicle, which gave extra security as well. I mean, you guys all seem to be in cahoots to whatever the hell happened to this little girl. So why don't you tell the truth? Why don't you tell the truth? Right? That's what I like to know. What's your problem? What's your problem? Why you gotta lie? A little 5-year-old child? I mean, how could you sit around and live with yourself? How can you live with yourself knowing that you had all to do with something to an innocent little girl, an innocent little 5-year-old child? You can say you don't give an F, this and that, one thing and another, Jody Sue, but I'm going to tell you what, one day you will. One day you're going to give an F. Because I'm going to tell you right now, hell's hot. And whether you believe in it or not, Jody Sue, it exists. It's there. And it's a very hot place. So, just because you don't believe in something, don't mean it don't exist. You're going to find out it does. And you're going to find out that you should have been a better person in your life instead of what you are. Just saying. Right? I don't know how the fuck you sleep. I don't know how you sleep. I really don't. Because in my opinion, all you motherfuckers up there has something to do with whatever happened to this little girl. Grandis, Candace, freaking Don Wells, Andy, you, Fred Hill and Laura. I think you all know exactly what the hell happened. I think big old Allie and her son knows exactly what happened too, to be honest with you. I'm just saying. I'm going to tell you, you guys, I'm not out here to, play games or bullshit or, just see how many people I can get into. I mean, if I was out here for the dollar, I'd be covering Sebastian Rogers' case, not Summer Wells. If I was out here for the dollar, I'd be covering a lot of other things, not Summer Wells. Everybody's moved on from this a long time ago. I'm not out here for anything other than to try to find the answers for this little girl, to get her found, brought home, and justice served against the evil beings that did this. Summer isn't going to go away. Summer's not going away for these monsters who did this evil thing to her. She's not going away because we're not going to let her go away. We're not going to let them have the satisfaction of getting away with doing something so sinister to a 5-year-old child. If nothing else, they're going to have to wake up every day and wonder if PG's on talking about it all. They're going to have to get up every day wondering, what is Pictures or PG showing today? What truth is PG putting out here today? You know, what they're going to have to put up with is their demons being irritated by all of us, right? By Summer's Army. They're going to have to put up with their fucking demons getting irritated every single day by Summer's Army out here. That's what they're going to put up with. We're not going to go away. We're going to be here to remind all of them. We're here to remind all of them that there is a heaven to gain, a hell to shun. And if they want to shun that hell, then they need to speak up, tell the truth, and tell where this little girl really is and what happened to her, so that they can free themselves from those demons, right? That caused them to do such an evil deed to a little child, in my opinion. That's what they need to do. And I'll be here to remind them of that as often as I can, right? As often as I can. And I'm pretty sure the Lord will be willing for it to be pretty often. Enough to irritate them anyway, right? They need to tell the truth. I'm going to tell you now, law enforcement didn't take the TV. It was in the back of Grandis's vehicle. And it obviously wasn't in the back of her vehicle when law enforcement got there. So where did it go? It obviously was at Hunter's house. And I bet the box and the camera, I bet all of Summer's clothes, I bet you her clothes were there being washed, the bathing suit, the sundress and stuff. That's why Candace went back. Candace went back there to pick up those clothes. She went back to Allison's house to get the things she left there. And I think she took them from there to either Fred or Jody Sue, who kept them for a while. And then she took them from there to Kathy, the friend's house, to hide it all. And I bet you 10 to 1 on that freaking box. I bet you 10 to 1 that freaking box right here was holding that camera as well. I bet that camera was tucked down in here somewhere as well, along with everything else. Until Candace decided to destroy it, right? Until she decided. It's probably one of the things they, when Don was getting ready to come out of jail, Grandis and Candace had hauled it back up on the hill. And I have a very reliable source, a very, very reliable source that said they were actually burning stuff. They started burning it a couple of days before Don even returned. Grandis and Candace did. And this very reliable source said they continued to burn a few days after Don got home, like almost up to a week after he got back. They was burning all kinds of stuff out of that house, and God only knows what. And that's probably one of the things they destroyed, right? That's probably one of the things they destroyed, since they already said law enforcement had it. No doubt in my mind. I thought about that too, Denny, because Ernie Shell said he heard her throw something into the water, because he went looking in, in and around the water to see, he thought it was a cell phone, but it possibly could have been that. It could have been that camera. Absolutely. I mean, you could go throw something. You could go throw something in the water, and it'd be like forever, and 2 days before it's found, right? And when it is, it's so freaking destroyed and ruined, and they can't do or make nothing with it anyway. Sometimes I don't know how. But you know, sometimes people throw stuff in water and it's like it was untouched. Sometimes they throw stuff in water, and when it is found, you know, by somebody fishing or whatever, they pull it up and actually they don't know how, but it, you know, the stuff on it's been preserved. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a funny thing. It's a funny thing. Some stuff is completely destroyed and some things ain't destroyed at all. I don't know. Sometimes it might be the grace of God, right? Sometimes it might be the grace of God. I mean, at some point there could be people fishing out there, and you know, they'll pull that camera up and maybe everything will be good. You know. Um Now the one thing I know about those cameras is that the film that it's still like you could take pictures. You can take pictures on that like digital pictures with no film, and it'll still be on there. And somehow, you know, they'll still be on there. Put one in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is you don't have to have the film. It takes like these digital pictures that, like, every picture you take somehow stays in there. I don't, you know, I'm not for sure how the hell that works, but it's still there. So they could pull it up and, you know, and this stuff still be there. I don't know. I don't know. Um just saying. They're not like the you know, the throwdown cameras. They're not like the ones that you take pictures, you go have it developed, you know, and you know, you got to roll of film, and it's not like that. Um, it's different. So, you know, yeah, but if you take the SD card out, the pictures are still in this camera. You don't have to have an SD card in there when you're snapping these pictures. That's what I'm saying. You know, I know exactly the kind of camera, and I've seen, you know, there's no SD card, and it somehow, you know, you snap a picture and it comes up on the film, you know, up on the little screen, and you can snap different pictures. It come up on the screen, but there's no card in it. Somehow this camera has a memory bank of its own, and if somebody got a hold of it, it's possibility everything they've ever took could be downloaded, you know, downloaded. These new cameras are nothing like the old ones. Matter of fact, I think a lot of the devices that they have in this world today, these new devices they're making, like the cameras and cell phones and all this stuff, I think there's features on there that you know nothing about that law enforcement does. Just saying. You know, I think there's a lot to this new stuff that you guys don't understand, and can be used against you, you know, can be used against you in the future. um just saying. Just saying. You know, if you're a criminal, they can be used against you in the future, because there's a lot to these new devices that just don't seem freaking right. I mean, you know, something ain't right about them. That's what I'm saying. Why isn't she listed? I find that so suspicious. Why isn't who listed? No one is in jail right now. That's true. No one is in jail right now. That does not mean they will not be in jail at some point. At some point. I'm saying that this particular camera, if it was thrown into the water, I don't think it was. I don't think the whales are stupid enough to throw that camera in water, because it could be possibly retrieved. And if it's retrieved, there could be a feature. There could be a feature on it, and that could be, there could be a like a memory bank. There could be like a memory bank that the water didn't hurt, that they would be able to access and get all the pictures from, out of that type of camera, out of that particular type of camera. I do not think that the whales are stupid enough to throw that in the water and possibly let a fisherman, somebody fishing, pull it up, pull it up out of the water. Because a lot of people, when you pull, especially cameras, if you find a camera, you know, anytime you find a camera, what's the first thing you do? You want to know what the hell's on that film, right? You want to know what's in there. If there's any film left, what is it? I mean, the first thing you're doing is trying to get it developed. Why? Because we all have a need to know, right? We have a need to know what's on something. It's just who we are. It's just, the nature of humans to want to know stuff. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you get a vintage camera and it's got some film or something. You're looking for a place that can develop this, because you want to know what's on it. The old movie projectors and stuff. You come by one that's got film and stuff. You can't wait to watch what. I mean, it has nothing to do with you or your family, but you're like, whoa, what's on this, right? You want to see it. You're curious. You're curious. Curiosity supposedly kills the cat, but, I don't know. Luckiest the cats instead of humans. But anyway, the point being is humans are curious. And if somebody pulls a camera up out of the water, they're going to try what they can to see what was on it, and if they see what I think might be on that camera, somebody's going to prison, right? Somebody's going to prison. There's some, like Boswell said, was that what they were using? Was that what they was using to, I mean, it's not, I didn't say it, Boswell said it. Boswell said that on the lab, he's the one that said, he had sold, supposedly, his boss called him, and his boss wanted to know why he sold a video tape to someone for $5,000 of his boss allegedly doing something not good with Summer, right? Not good with Summer. So, who knows what they were doing? Who knows what was on that camera? They do. That's why it's missing. That's why that camera can't be found. It's because, you know, Don and Candace, you know, they know what's on it. Just like Summer's clothes couldn't be found, right? Just like her jacket couldn't be found. I mean, when Don Wells when he first heard that Kathy, the friend, supposedly had all of Summer's clothes in a box, he's like, somebody needs to report that to law enforcement. Somebody needs to call law enforcement. What? She's got my daughter's clothes? I mean, you know, and here it's, you know, Candace took them there, right? I mean, Don Wells was, you know, still going with the lies that Summer's wearing this outfit, you know, and all of this stuff. And Kathy, the friends, got it. You know, they need to go arrest her. I mean, they're ready to put innocent people in jail. Do I think Kathy, the friend, you know, had anything to do with Summer's disappearance? No, I don't. Do I think she was, you know, they're keeping dirty secrets and protecting, you know, covering up and protecting Candace? Yes, I do. Do I think she knew the Wells before Summer went missing? Yes, I do. It seems to be, you know, proof in those pictures we saw that she did. So, you know, yes. I think she did, you know, I do think she had a hand in, you know, messing up the case, you know, so that it couldn't be solved. Yeah, I do believe that. I mean, you know, an obstruction of justice. Absolutely. I really do. She knew things that should have been turned in ASAP. She, you know, there was a lot of stuff that this woman knew that could have helped Summer's case, and you know, she was messing up evidence, if you ask me, totally destroying it in order to protect Candace, because she had some kind of weird fetish, some kind of weird obsession, you know, with Candace. That was unnatural. It was very unnatural, right? Just saying. It seems like all of them people, you know, they're weird. They're just a weird group of human beings. Yeah, I mean, Jody Sue is, you know, before Summer ever came up missing, Jody Sue is she's on, you know, video telling people, come, let's go up in the woods and let's, you know, and don't be, if you can't keep up, don't come. And, you know, talking about all of this, some, you know, some weird shit. Let's go meet in the woods. I mean, there gotta be something freaky fucking weird with these people, right? Who the hell goes meet up in the woods? I mean, and then she wants to talk about, you know, the Klan and shit. I'm sorry to tell you, but they ain't been around. They haven't been around since the freaking, you know, 50s and 60s, right? That shit don't even exist no more. Nobody be going out in no freaking woods humming and looking all weird except mother freaking occult people, right? That's the only people go meet up in woods. There's a bunch of freaking weirdos. They put on their long freaking weird looking gowns and hoods and go up there and do some hum Homes for the poor shit or something. I don't know what the fuck they do because I ain't ever seen one or been there, but I'm sure it's probably pretty weird, right? They must feel all important. They must feel all important, right? You got to be able to keep up. Who in the fuck wants to keep up with that? I mean, shit, if they're going in one direction, I think you'd want to go in the other, right? Yeah, exactly. A lot of people talk about the Masons. Um, I, when it comes to, when it comes to that weird stuff, I think there's different levels. Like you have, I don't know about any Masons. I don't even think Masons exist anymore. Masons were more like back in the Whig day, back in history, they had all the Whigs, meaning like George Washington and, the powder wig people, calling themselves Masons, Benjamin Franklin, people like that, supposed to be part of this Masons. Um, I think it was more like, people at the running the country type thing, the rich, the ones that were, able to buy a powder fucking wig or something. I don't know. You know, that was all the rage back then. If you could just afford a powdered wig, um, been a lot cheaper just to powder your own freaking hair, right? Powder your own head. I don't know. Um, I had to be pretty fucking itchy, if you ask me. Pretty gross too, right? Pretty gross because that was a lot of unclean living. But anyhow, yeah. But I don't know about Masons existing in today's world. It's more like you got this. You have the different levels. Um, the Illuminatis are one of the ones on the kind of on the bottom. You know, you have. I think you have like the Scientology's kind of at the top, and then you've got, you go down to the Illuminatis, and actually Illuminatis are, like gophers. They're gophers, but that's pretty much how it's twinkling down. I mean, there could still be Masons, and then like the Scientology, and then down to the Illuminatis and move on. But I don't think so. I think it's more of Scientology moving down into the Illuminatis, which Illuminatis are nothing but a bunch of gophers. They're just like, mediocre people who do all the dirty work, kind of, all the real evilness. Um, and then it twinkles down to wannabes, right? Wannabe, different little groups of people wanting to be part of something, which is really fucking weird. But yeah, but they say there's like tons and tons and tons of them. You don't know who they are. They're everywhere, right? I hear that they're judges, and they're law enforcement, and I hear that they're, all over the place, doctors and lawyers and Indian chiefs. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get into I don't get into the devil's cesspools and try to, try to figure it out. Because my Bible tells me, it lets me know that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I don't go, and also my Bible tells me, to stay the hell away from that shit, right? It tells you to flee from it. Don't even go, don't even go in the midst of it. Stay away from it. So, that's probably the best thing to do. It's nothing to play with. I can tell you that now. I've seen some people, firsthand, I've seen some people who have gotten into this stuff. And to be honest with you, they mother freaking crazy, man. They like really super weird, really super freaking weird. They're like, it like, it's actually scary weird. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever seen or know people who's gotten into them. Because if you have, you know what I'm talking about. Right? You'll know what I'm talking about. These people go freaking crazy. They go freaking stupid. Like they start talking a bunch of crazy, weird, off the wall shit. It's like, what the fuck, right? They be talking some crazy stuff. And they, and they be running around. They're running around like really freaking strange. And I mean, they're ready for a fucking padded cell, to be honest with you. They look like they'd be ready for a padded cell. Some of them actually get put in a place like that for a while, right? Because of the stuff, they're not ready for it. They're not ready, they're not strong enough to handle. They're not strong enough to handle what's coming at them. There's some really strange shit coming at them too, right? I mean, they see stuff and hear shit and there's stuff, man. I'm going to tell you something. I don't even know. They wasn't ready for that, right? They wasn't ready to handle the stuff they was about to get into. They had no idea. They had no idea what was coming their way. And it takes a long time. It takes a long time for them to adjust to that weird stuff. And then they're scared to get out. Then they're afraid. They're afraid, because I guess they get told. I reckon they get told, from what I hear, from what I hear, they get told, that they can't get out, right? I don't know. Somebody was saying that song, Hotel California. Have you guys ever heard of the song Hotel California? You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. I heard that particular song is, basically about the occult. You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. I was just interested in the pretty boys, right? I'm like, what? They pretty boys there? Oh, hell. I don't know. I could be interested, right? Maybe. I don't know. But that's what I heard. I have no idea. I mean, I think I've heard it all. Take a record, play it backwards, and you can hear satanic stuff on it. Right? Who in the hell wants to take a record and play it backwards? That's freaking weird. Right? All I heard was I took a tape and, rewinded it, and all I hear is a bunch of squeaking and shit. I don't know. Maybe you gotta have different ears to hear it. I don't know. Certain kind of ears to hear that shit. I have no idea. I heard it's about the occult. That's what I heard. I don't know. I don't know. Now, Stairway to Heaven, I believe that's about, going up. Going up. It's probably about, about maybe a good high. I don't know. I have no idea. Music to me was just music until you hear, I mean, humans offend my ears, to be honest. Humans really offend my ears. I try. I don't offend my ears. I don't offend my eyes, but other people do. Um, with the shit they do and say, like you can really run into some weird people that say some really weird stuff, shit that, like, I don't need to know that. I don't even want to know that, right? I like to keep my mind pure, but you can't do that. You can't do that in this world because so many people are evil and so many people want to, talk about some really weird stuff. And, and I don't know why. I promise you, I have no idea why, but like, I promise you, like these people pick me out of a whole fucking crowd to walk up to want to talk about this stuff, It's like out of all the people and, all the people, why would you come up to me? Why you want to tell me about, this weird shit? Couldn't you pick somebody else? I mean, you was all the way across the motherfucking park, 5 minutes ago. How in the hell did you get here standing next to me? Because I know I seen you over there. That was a long ways away. And next thing you know, you pop up next to me and you want to talk about some weird stuff. Like, did you know this song? I know I didn't know that, and I wish you wouldn't have told me. Get lost, freak. There's a lot of songs, that, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that people can't, do I believe that there's people who sell their souls, in order to gain some weirdness? Yeah, there's probably people who do. It ain't the first time I've heard of it. Why do I have to rewind it? I've never played it. No. They're saying that if you take certain songs and you play these songs, like if you play these songs backwards, that they're supposed to be messages, there's supposed to be messages on them, like satanic messages on it when it's played backwards. I mean, who the hell plays? It's hard enough listening to records going forward or tapes or CDs or whatever, I did take note that they're coming out with vinyl again. Has anyone else took note that they're coming out with vinyl again? They're coming out with record players and vinyl. I was shopping and I took note that there was a whole lot of, vinyl records you could buy. And I was like, wow, I thought we were supposed to be moving into the future, not going back. That was just, everybody said, we need to, keep up with progress, right? That progress is good. I would think that, we wouldn't be going back to vinyl and record players. I would think that we would be moving forward to, I don't know, like, just speak it and it plays. Like just speak it in thin air and it plays. And speak it in thin air, and it comes out, of the copy machine all wrote down. I mean, I was thinking that, there should be no work to it at all. If we're going into the future, there should be no work to it at all. Right? I would think that it would get to where if a person just thinks, other people would be able to hear it. Right? That they would come up with something where we could hear each other's thoughts. Right? I mean, why haven't they come up with something like that yet? Because I sure in the hell would like to know what other people's thinking all the time. That's so scary. I won't watch a movie that's about the devil or demons. Yikes. Yeah. A lot of people are. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of Satan. I'm afraid of God. Right? And that's where I think a lot of people mess up in this life, in this world, is that, growing up and everything, everybody's always afraid of the devil. They need to be afraid of God because God's the one, God's the one, the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away, right? Blessed be the Lord. God's the one that, gives and takes. God's the one that, God's the one's got to say if you're going to gain heaven or hell, right? I mean, I would think people be scared of God, not Satan. I mean, Satan has no power. He has no power. When Jesus died on that cross, Jesus overcame all sin. He overcame everything. The devil has no power anymore. Because of the blood of Jesus Christ, the devil has no power. None. Right? Jesus defeated the devil when he died on that cross. So, I don't know why people are afraid of Satan at all. Satan can't do nothing to you. God sure can. I mean, God can end you right now. He could end you right now, this very second. God can, and not only end you, but put you in hell for eternity, where you can't get loose. I mean, God holds all the power. Satan holds none. If I'm going to fear someone, I'm going to fear God Almighty, which I do, right? Which I do. That's why, I'm not swift to run to trouble. That's why, I try 150% to tell the truth, to want the truth, to need the truth, to bring the truth out here. I mean, I don't fear no devil. I fear God Almighty. I fear ending up in hell if I'm not doing righteousness. That's what I fear. Nothing more, nothing less. As all people should. But a lot of people, so busy fearing the devil, you know, bearing evilness, that, I mean, you can rebuke Satan in the name of Jesus Christ and he has to flee, right? He's got to go. I mean, that's just the way it is. You can rebuke evilness. You know, there ain't no rebuking righteousness. You can't, is not no rebuking righteousness. Why? Because righteousness does not need to be rebuked. Right? That's why. And also because God holds all power. The devil has none. I think it was the devil that got kicked out of heaven, not God. Right? He got his ass hurled to the earth to devour whoever he may. You know, that tells me to stay away from Satan and stick with God. I want to, you know, I want to be with the winner. And God's already the winner. He's already the winner. You know, he done won. So it is what it is. Come on, Tim. You call in and talk to us about summer. Come on, I dare you. I don't think Tim Mullins is, if it's Tim Mullins you're talking about, I don't think he's going to call in and talk about nobody. I don't think Tim Mullins is going to call and say nothing about nothing. Tim Mullins, you know, he just hides in the background and you know, causes issues from a distance, right? He causes issues from a distance. Yeah. Yeah. Tim Mullins is, you know, I think Tim Mullins is just trying to figure out what happened to Summer, just like everybody else is, right? I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what happened to Summer. You know, Don and Candace and Grandis, they have no friends. And also, another thing is, you know, they did not think that Summer was abducted from day one. They did not believe she was abducted from day one. And I'll tell you why. They didn't put an Amber Alert out for her, right? They put no Amber Alert out. They were not putting no roadblocks up. They were not doing anything, you know, nothing at all suggesting abduction whatsoever. Law enforcement from day one did not believe in that. From the very second they got there, they did not believe in that. So, just saying, you know, that's another thing. That's another thing that, you know, we got to take in consideration as well. Wood Fairy, nobody over here likes Tiffany Marie as well. Tiffany Marie is the whole reason that Summer has no reward fund, right? She's the whole reason. She lied about giving money that she didn't and acting like the people taking in Summer's reward fund were, you know, were thieves or liars or something, and really made the organization look bad. And that's half the reason they wanted to get rid of her reward fund, was because of Tiffany Marie. So there ain't nobody here, you know, has nothing for lying ass Tiffany Marie whatsoever. Tiffany Marie did not give a shit about Summer Wells or any other child that's missing, if you ask me. All she gave a damn about was grabbing a kid like Benny Keys and making as much off of the kid's back as she possibly could. And that's what, what she did and what she does. So, I have no respect for Tiffany Marie whatsoever, right? None at all. She has her audacity to lie about giving money to a reward fund. How fucking low life is that, right? It makes the child end up losing its reward fund because the foundation don't want to hold it any longer because of all of her bullshit and the way she made them look bad, right? I'm going to tell you, Tiffany don't want the truth. Tiffany don't want to tell the truth because, she don't want Summer's case solved. Tiffany don't want this baby's case solved and everybody to be able to move on, because then she couldn't use it. Then she couldn't use it any longer, right? To make her money and to bullshit people and to be out here, talking the way she does and so forth and so on. I pray every single day that all of these missing children are found. I pray every day that Summer's found, Michael Vaughn's found, Sebastian Rogers is found, and we can put these cases behind us, and I pray there is no more. I pray there is no more. I pray that we could just meet up and talk about something different than all of this, and praise God that we're not talking about this any longer. That's how I feel personally. That's my, view on all of this, is what I want myself. But these other people like Tiffany, they don't want that. They hope these kids' cases. Have you ever wondered why they don't come out and talk about children's cases that have been solved? Like, I believe it was in Tennessee. There's a mother actually, getting ready to go through trial and everything, that held her little girl underwater, right? Held her little girl underwater until she, no longer with us, until she unlived her. And, why doesn't anybody bring that little girl's picture out? Why don't they show it? Why don't they talk about it? Why don't they, because that case is solved. That's why. And there's nothing to be had. There's nothing to be had from it. But if that little girl's case wasn't solved, they'd all be talking about it and, hoping it don't get solved for a long time so that they, they can bank off of it as long as they can. I mean, that's what makes this YouTube crime community so evil. That's what makes it so evil out here. It's evil. And I really think there could be, I really think there could be a sentence in hell for people who's trying to bank off of these children. Just saying, that's my opinion. But I think that, I wouldn't want to do it. I just really would not want to do that. I wouldn't want to come out here and act like I give a damn about a child that I don't. I wouldn't want to come out here and just use these children, to bank off of. That's unrighteous as hell. Just saying. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with coming out here. If this is truly something that you like doing, if you truly do care about these missing children, you really care, and you really want to help them, there's nothing wrong with coming out here and, trying to help them. And there's nothing wrong with, taking donations to keep your channel running, because this is a lot of work and it costs money, yes. But, you know, there is something wrong. There is something wrong when, you know, you're trying to bank more than it takes to run the channel. There's something wrong with that. This is a labor of love. This is something you do because you want to do it, and for no other reason. For no other reason. Just saying. But these people, you know, Tiffany Marie, she don't want it to, you know, if she wasn't, you know, she wasn't making more than it takes to run her channel, she wouldn't be out here. She quit. She totally quit. If there was no more than, you know, no more than what it takes to help her run the channel, she would quit. And if she had to come out of her pocket, to do this, oh hell, she wouldn't be doing it at all. Trust me. She just wouldn't be doing it. I do care about Summer, and I cared about Quentin. I loved that little Quentin. He was a beautiful child. I mean, that little feller captured all of our hearts. He captured all of our hearts. And these kids do. These kids capture our hearts, and we want, you know, we want them found. We want to do all we can to help their, you know, to help their case and to get as many answers and try to, you know, do what we can to bring them home and get justice for them. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. What's wrong is when you're willing to tell stories and lie and go around a mulberry bush just to keep it going instead of really trying to get it solved, you know, because that's what you're supposed to be doing, is trying to get it solved. You're trying to get, you know, these children brought home and justice served and, you know, closure. Trying to get closure. That's what it's about. And a lot of people ain't doing that. You know, I hear so many people say, oh, PG gets up there and lies every single time and this and that. No, I don't lie about nothing. Them motherfuckers just don't want to hear the truth. The problem is they don't want to hear the truth. And they're afraid that PG is pretty much figured completely out what truly happened to this baby, and that, you know, everybody's going to go their own way, and Summer's case ain't going to be there no more. That's what they're worried about. That's what they're scared of. Right? Well, that's too bad. That's too bad. It's like Michael Vaughn. It's like Michael Vaughn's case. I actually talked to that Stacy. I actually talked to him, and from what, you know, from what I gathered from this guy, Michael Vaughn wasn't ever in their yard. He's in someone else's. You know, I mean, I'm going to bring it out later this week. I'm going to bring it out later this week. I've been so caught up on Summer's case and all the things going on in Summer's case, you know, catching this and that and one thing and another, like this camera, for instance, and her bag and suit, which Don lied about, and the TV. You know, these are aha moments that we really didn't, you know, focus on. I mean, we wasn't seeing the forest for the trees because everything was going so quick and, you know, so much to keep up with. And now that we're going back, we're getting a lot of aha moments that, you know, is even more implicating, you know, Don, Candace, and Grandis, and Jody, Susan, Andy's, and Fred's and Laura's, is more implicating them into everything, right? I thought it was kind of weird that the junkyard has this particular truck up there. Look, that's a Toyota Tacoma. And look at this. Right up, just like you're standing down on the ground, look straight up, there it is, you know. supposedly one of these were seen flying around Ben Hill Road with ladder racks and so forth. I mean, I like to know how long this thing has been there, when it came in, um, if it shows signs of having ladder racks on it before that had been taken off. Um, you know, is there signs of, is the bed of it all scratched up, or showing signs where buckets might have been rattling around in the back of it? Could this have possibly you know, been the vehicle seen up there? That it's in the same junkyard that Fred seems to go to all the time. I also hear that Chad Arnold's family owns this particular junkyard that Fred was going to all the time. Um, right now, I guess law enforcement's going to, is going to possibly look into the junkyard to see about what Fred was scrapping, around and during the time Summer came up missing. So we might have made some headway there. We may have made some headway there, to get some things gone back and looked over. Um, we'll see. We'll see. You know, um, but I think we're making some progress by going back and coming forward, going back and coming forward. So yeah, and I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one reporting the junkyard, and the different variations of lies that Fred has been telling, to the point he separated himself completely from this junkyard, as if there is something there to hide. I wasn't the only one reporting it. Other people, like I was just one of the calls coming in, because I was told, that I'm not the only one concerned with this. That other people is reporting it too. So, I mean, it's going in an abundance. Yeah. Justice for You says I reported it. Yeah, I know other people are, because I was told, I was told that I'm not the only one concerned on this issue, and they're going to be taking it in consideration, because um, and that it helps when there's an abundance of people concerned. It helps. That's why Summer has an army. She has an army so that one person ain't trying to do it all. Sometimes people don't listen to one person, but when you get a few people together, you know, um, then shit starts getting addressed and taken care of. So, it was a good thing. I mean, I was personally, I was happy to hear there's more than just myself concerned with this issue. So, that's a good thing. Absolutely. It wasn't Fred. It was Ziggy. It wasn't Fred cursed with curiosity. It was Ziggy saying that she asked Fred, and Fred said it was possible that someone, when you turn it in, you got to turn it in with his wife. His wife, Ziggy, stated that her husband said this, that, someone could have done that, as if that's going to be the excuse he uses if something is found, right? If something is found. So that helps. That helps a lot. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, girl, we sure do. Summer Moon, we love you, sweet little angel. Absolutely. God knows we do, girl. God knows. Listen, I wanted to let you guys know also Megan Boswell. Megan Boswell is coming up for trial over little Evelyn, sweet little baby Evelyn. Absolutely. On February the 3rd, they're getting a jury together. They're going to start her trial. And we're going to be there. We're going to be there. We're going to make sure justice gets served. We did Quentin's trial. We will make sure that we're doing this one as well.
Jury selection will take place on February 3, 2025 when Boswell's trial begins. Boswell faces numerous charges in the death of her daughter, Evelyn Boswell. Her charges include 2 counts of felony murder, 1 count of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse and more. A Sullivan County grand jury indicted the mother of deceased toddler Evelyn Boswell on multiple charges, including felony murder. The presentment from the grand jury lists the first murder charge is due to aggravated child abuse and the second is connected to aggravated child neglect. No further details were released on those murder counts. Indictment documents show a count of aggravated child abuse accusing Megan Boswell of intentionally inflicting serious bodily harm on baby Evelyn. The 4th count listed on Boswell's indictment was aggravated child neglect, indicating that she neglected baby Evelyn, resulting in serious injury. The grand jury charged Megan Boswell with 1 count of tampering with evidence. She reportedly lied to investigators, saying the baby was with Evelyn's father, Ethan Perry. Count 6, false report. The said false statement concerning Evelyn Boswell and the defendant's claim that her infant child was with the child's father, Ethan Perry. She told Sullivan County Sheriff's deputies that she did not know where her baby was and investigators found that she lied about her attempts to find the toddler. According to the indictment, Boswell also lied about the last time she saw her baby, and about the fact that her baby was possibly injured. Count 8, false report. The said false statement concerning the alleged last physical contact that the defendant had with her infant daughter and Ethan Perry's alleged refusal to respond to her texts and voicemails regarding her daughter following an argument with Ethan Perry about the custody arrangements concerning her daughter. She also made a false statement concerning the alleged time frame of when she gave Evelyn to Perry, since she could not handle her daughter anymore, and his alleged threats to take her to court to address custody issues, according to investigators. Count 10, false report. The said false statement concerning the alleged time frame of when the defendant gave her infant daughter to Ethan Perry to keep since she could not handle her daughter anymore and Ethan Perry's alleged threats to take the defendant to court to address the custody of their daughter. 5 counts against Megan Boswell list her lying about her mother, Angela Boswell's involvement in the case. According to the indictment, Megan Boswell also falsely reported that she thought Evelyn's cause of death resulted from either her or her boyfriend, Hunter Wood, rolling over onto the child while sleeping and that she did not know the location of the child's body. Count 17, false report. The said false statement concerning the death of her infant child and the defendant's claim that her child's death resulted from either her or Hunter Wood rolling over onto the child while sleeping and that the defendant did not know the location of the child's body, contrary to Tennessee Code. Boswell was also charged with abusing the corpse of her toddler. Finally, Count 19 charges Boswell with not reporting the death of baby Evelyn. Count 19, failure to report a death under suspicious, unusual, or unnatural circumstances, did unlawfully, knowingly, and felonious fail to report the death of her infant daughter, Evelyn Boswell, to the county medical examiner, local police, district attorney general or sheriff, where the death was from violence, trauma, or in any suspicious, unusual or unnatural manner.
Nineteen counts on her. 19. And the neglect and abuse, well, that sounds familiar, right? Neglect and abuse sounds very familiar. Who Who else had gross neglect and severe abuse upon them? I think we all know that answer. But there's the judge, and he sure doesn't look happy. There's sweet little Evelyn Boswell. There's the little baby. How someone could hurt a little child, I do not know. I do not know. Megan Boswell, 2019. Megan Boswell, 2025. And she don't look the same anymore, right? Yeah. She kind of looks like, hell warmed over there, right? She looks like hell warmed over. She don't look all young and healthy and, great coloring in her face. She looks worse than some people I've seen, out on the streets for a while, right? And that's what jail does to you. That's what jail does to you. Jail will take you down quick. There isn't nothing worth spending your life in prison for. You do not have to keep these children. You do not. No one's forcing no one to keep a child. That's why they got CPS. You can walk right in. You can walk right in to a CPS office, hand whoever's standing there a child, and walk out. Right? I can't do this anymore. Here. And leave. You don't have to hand them, you don't have to tell them your name. You could just leave. Just walk away. You can go to any police station, any fire station, and hand a child to an officer and say, hey, I can't do this, and walk away. Just leave, right? Just walk away. And don't have to, go jump back in your vehicle or go run off and you don't have to worry. It's you're not going to be in any trouble whatsoever because you did not hurt the child. You gave it to someone, right? You gave it to authorities and you said, hey, I can't do this anymore. Here you go. Sorry. You don't need to destroy a child. Nobody needs to resort to unliving, abusing, and neglecting and unliving a child. If you don't want the child, give it to someone who does. Give it to someone that will take care of it. I think the Wells didn't give their children away because they were jealous of their children. Did you hear the way Don Wells says, my kids don't need nothing, they're getting everything, they're living better than us? As if he's jealous. He's jealous that his kids are living in nice homes, sleeping in clean beds, wearing clean clothes, getting cleaned up every day, getting educated. He's jealous that his kids are being, took to church and learning to stay away from drugs and people like them, right? He's jealous. Who the hell is jealous of their own children? What kind of sick fucking human being would be jealous of their child? Oh, you don't want it and you don't want no one else to have it, so you destroy it, right? Oh, I'd rather throw this in the garbage than let someone else get some use out of it, right? And there's people like that. There's people like that in this world. They would rather throw stuff in the trash than to let someone else get some use out of it, right? Why? Why? What if you don't want it any longer? Why do you care if someone else benefits from it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. There's a lot of people in this world that don't have that problem. You know, there's a lot of people in this world, if they no longer want their clothes or their coat or you know, their furniture or whatever, they will donate it. They will actually, take it and donate it so other people, they take it to homeless shelters, they take it to, you know, abuse shelters, they take it, and give it. They say, hey, here's a lot of good things that can be used, right? Some people take it to schools. If they have, they have teenagers or whatever in good clothes, they'll take them to a school and say, hey, maybe there's a kid in here that can use these, and give it to the school so that, kids can benefit from it. There's a lot of people, that won't throw stuff away because they want other people to have. They're like, this is nice stuff. And there's people out here that's always in need of these things, right? If you got quilts and blankets and stuff that are in really good shape, right? And you just don't have, you got an overload of them, right? You got an overload of them hanging in your closets because you like to change out and buy stuff. Take them to a place and donate them. There's people always needing blankets. There's always people. I know people that actually buy blankets. They buy a ton of blankets and they just hand them out to the homeless people. They just, instead of handing out money, they hand out these blankets so the homeless people can stay warm. So the homeless people can, if it is warm, they can lay it on the ground and they can have something to sleep on, right? A lot of people, are givers, but there's a whole lot of people that ain't. There's a lot of people in this world that, like Megan Boswell, for instance, instead of giving her little girl, taking her little girl and giving it away, saying, hey, I can't handle this, you've got to take it, I can't do it. No, she decides, instead of doing that, it's my kid and I'm going to treat it how I want to treat it and do what I want to do. And she ended up, this child ended up unalived in the care of Megan Boswell. Megan Boswell did not want this child. There is a lot of people in this world, you like Megan Boswell's, that don't want the child. What they want is the benefits of having the child. They want the benefits. And I think there should be no benefits for having a child. I don't think there should be no benefits at all. I think if you have a child, you should have to work and you should have to take care of your child on your own. There should be no benefits for children whatsoever. There wasn't ever benefits, back in history. There was no benefits when you had a child. You got nothing except the pleasure of raising it, working your ass off and raising it with your own monies. Right? That's what you got, was the pleasure of taking care of it, if you had it. And that's what people should have today, the pleasure of taking care of it, because there is a lot of children being kept for the food stamps and abused. There's a lot of children being kept for the free housing. There's a lot of children being kept for the benefits instead of the love and kindness and unconditional caring, right? See, if there's no benefits, then people would only be keeping their kids because they love them, not because of anything else. Just saying, you know, no one should be being paid to keep their child. The benefits, the benefits cause children, people to keep them and abuse them. I don't mind losing you, kid. It's the benefits that I don't want to be losing. That's how a lot of parents, talk. That's their mind frame. If it wasn't for these benefits, I'd give you away. Right? Well, they should cut the benefits off. If you have a kid, it's your responsibility to raise it. If you're going to have a kid, then you work and you raise it. Or don't have it. Right? If you can't afford to raise it, then you shouldn't be having it anyway. Just saying. And it would probably cut down. A lot of these parents, a lot of abuse and a lot of, what I'm saying is a lot more children being abused would probably be given away to people who would truly love them and care about them. A lot more children would, not be unalived because, these people don't want, Megan Boswell did not want to have her child and watch her child and put up with her child. That's clear. This child was in her way. And the only reason I think she was keeping it is more than likely due to benefits that she was getting. And she wanted to keep those, not the child. That's what I'm trying to say. And, this country's going to have to do something about that. Right? They're going to have to do something about that. But this woman also blamed her mother. She blamed her boyfriend. Said the boyfriend, her and the boyfriend accidentally turned over on the baby and they got scared. But you know what? There's her boyfriend and he's like, oh, hell no, that didn't happen. I don't know why she's saying this, right? And she also blames her mother. She blamed her own mother, said her mother had her. She almost got her mother in trouble, right? She didn't care who she blamed. That's what I'm telling you about evilness. Evilness does not care who they blame. They're ready to put innocent people in jail, right? Innocent humans in jail. And in Summer's case, I think if Andy and, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I think if Andy and them would have been able to find, Mr. Dobb, right? If they'd have been able to find old Mr. Dobbs the night before Summer went missing, I got a feeling Dobbs may be in prison right now. And everybody thinking, oh, Summer's case is solved because a shoe or something would have been found around his truck or around the place he was staying. And he would have definitely been in trouble, right? He'd have been in trouble. I'm telling you, evil people don't care who they, drag into their evilness and try to destroy. Evil humans have no conscience. They have no conscience. They're very dangerous. And I'm going to tell you, you got to be careful about evil, because if they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you, right? If they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you. That's something that, these people better realize. That's why you don't affiliate yourself with evilness. Keep yourself away from it. All right, you guys. PG's going to get out of here. Hopefully, Lord willing, we'll be back in tomorrow night. Hopefully a lot earlier. But her trial is coming up February the 3rd. We're definitely going to be there. We're definitely going to be, keeping a close eye on this one and praying that this little baby, that this sweet little girl gets the justice, the justice she deserves against these evil human beings. No one should ever destroy anyone. You have no rights destroying any other human. I don't care if it's a child. I don't care if it's a teenager. I don't care if it is a young adult, a middle-aged adult, an old adult. No one has a right destroying another human's life. You have no rights doing that. No one does. I'm going to tell you, God's watching. God's watching. Like I said, there is a heaven to gain and a hell to shun. Hopefully, Megan Boswell can find God inside of this jailhouse. Maybe she can find God. She can change her life around. She can get forgiveness for everything she's done. And hopefully, one day, she'll see her daughter again in heaven, right? Hopefully, one day. At least Megan Boswell is going to pay. She's going to pay for her sins on earth by being in prison, right? And I think that if you're paying for your sins on earth like this, you've got a way better chance of being in heaven one day than if you're not paying for them, right? If you're not paying for them. And then God's going to have to step in. God's going to have to step in and judge you and make you pay for them. Megan's going to jail. In Summer's case, I don't know, but it's looking like the people in Summer's case ain't going to jail. The evil people in her case seems to like they might end up in hell, right? That's the difference, if you ask me. That's just my opinion. I'd rather pay for my sins on this earth than to pay for them later. That's my take on it all. All right, you guys. I did see Love of Scorpio was in here tonight. I was excited to see her. God bless. I was excited to see her. On Justice for You, you asked me if you had the right number. I didn't know what you were talking about. I didn't know what number you're talking about. I don't know. They didn't, if you was talking about reporting, the scrapyard, and they didn't give me no names. They just said that, that I ain't the only one. I ain't the only one concerned. So I don't know. I don't know if somebody had the right numbers. That's the much as I could say when it came to reporting. But that's to Ali. That's not, that's not, I don't know what you were talking about, the right numbers. So anyway, I am going to get out of here. Oops. Yeah, if you, Hawkins County, you can report it to Hawkins County if you want, or TBI, or even the FBI. You can, you have your choice, because all of them's working on Summerwell's case. Hawkins County, not so much. the only way that you would really report it to Hawkins County is, see, Hawkins County is covering Cotton Simpson's case. So, with Hawkins County covering Cotton Simpson's case, and seeing that Cotton Simpson's case may have had something to do with Summers' case, then you can report it in that fashion to Hawkins County. If you make that clear, that's why you're calling them. But TBI is handling, just the overall Summers case. And then you've got the feds that's also, involved due to the fact that, due to the fact that the Amber Alert was put in place and so forth and so on. And, that it could, that some of this stuff could have took place outside the area as well. So, you've got different options, however you want to do it. But when it comes to Hawkins County, you would have to bring Cotton Simpson in on it in order to report it there, because of what he supposedly seen, that had all to do, with so, and report it to his family. And then you would have to go from there with the vehicle and so forth. Just saying. Yeah. All right, girl. I'm going to get out of here, you guys. I'm going to, not before I asked you to keep those prayers going up for Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Keep the prayers going up for this baby. I know God is listening. He's always listening. Anytime you pray in the name of Jesus Christ, God is listening. And as long as you believe, Jesus said, whatever you ask, know it has already been answered. That you will receive it, and you will. So, prayer without faith is an empty prayer. People say, oh, why is God not answering my prayers? Well, maybe you ain't got the faith that he's going to. Ye of little faith, have no doubt. Have no doubt. When you pray to God, have no doubt that he's going to answer. Don't doubt God. Just know that he will, and move on. Know that when I pray, I know God already has answered. When I pray, I know he's already answered. I don't have to think about it. I know he did. And I just move on, because that's how it works. I mean, the Bible tells me the truth. It's 150% truth, and even more so. Why am I going to doubt anything? I'm not going to doubt nothing. When you pray, know that God's going to answer, and he will. And I pray that he lets us find Summer. I pray that God lets us find Summer, bring her home, and get justice for her. And I know he will. At some point, I know he will. I don't question God. I don't question why, her case ain't been solved yet, or she ain't been found yet. Because everything happens on God's time, not PG's or anyone else's. It happens on God's time. And I don't question God. When God wants Summer found, she will be. When he wants this case solved, it will be. But I think he's pulling it to the light. I think we're learning a whole lot we didn't know. I think I think if they go to that junkyard, it may be solved. I don't know. But I think if they did, it would. It possibly would. So let us pray that they get to that junkyard and they check those vehicles and see if it has anything to do with any of this. Let us just pray that somehow, some way, this little girl's found, brought home, and justice is served. in the name of Jesus. Amen. And pray for Michael Vaughn. We're going to be talking about his case this coming week. And pray for little Sebastian Rogers. That case is a mess. That case is a mess, you guys. A real mess. And a lot going on in it too. But I haven't had time to talk about that as well. I'd like to. There's a lot going on. But I'll have to wait. I'll have to wait on that as well. But you know what? We're going to keep on keeping on with Summer's case. We're going to keep on doing what we can. And hopefully we can get that scrapyard checked and see where it goes from there. Let's see where it goes from there. But we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And we'll be covering little Evelyn's case as well as it gets more closer and the trial gets started. We'll be covering that as well. So PG's going to say good night. God bless. Much, much love.